In the summer of 1799, a gang of river pirates operating out of a massive cavern in Illinois expelled 2 men from their ranks. The Harpes had a habit of dragging travelers to the top of the bluff, stripping them naked and pushing them off the ledge just to watch their bodies smash on the rocks below. It was a level of cruelty that even Samuel Mason's gang of pirates found disturbing. These outcasts were Micaiah and Wiley Harpe. Today, they are recognized as the first recorded serial killers in United States history. This map traces their path across the 18th century frontier. From Tennessee, through the Kentucky wilderness, and along the Ohio River, they left a trail of victims spanning hundreds of miles. These sketches of Micaiah and Wiley put faces to a spree claiming dozens of lives. Unlike the pirates they lived with, the Harpes did not kill for cargo or currency. They frequently murdered men, women, and children, and then abandoned their horses and supplies, suggesting the act of killing was their primary objective. To understand how 2 men became capable of this level of random violence, we have to look back 20 years to the outbreak of the American Revolution. Before the war, the Harpe cousins were children in a family of Scottish immigrants living in North Carolina. Like many in their community, their fathers were loyalists to the British Crown. As the Revolution began, local patriot groups targeted loyalist families. The young boys reportedly watched from the woods as their parents were lynched and their home was burned to the ground. The cousins fled into the Appalachian wilderness, where they were eventually rescued and adopted by the Chickamauga Cherokee, a tribe that was also actively fighting the American colonists. For the next decade, the boys were trained in the methods of frontier warfare. They learned guerrilla tactics, stealth, and various ways to torture and kill the settlers who were encroaching on Cherokee territory. This decade in the wilderness provided the boys with a specialized education in violence. By the time they reached adulthood, their early trauma had been reinforced by years of training in how to efficiently target the colonists they blamed for the destruction of their family. When the Revolutionary War moved into the South, the Harpes joined Tory militias and loyalist gangs. They utilized the wartime chaos as an opportunity to raid patriot farms, utilizing violence that was, at the time, sanctioned by the British military. Records place them at major military engagements. This plaque at Kings Mountain commemorates the 1780 battle where the Harpes served as irregular militia, earning recognition for their aggression in combat. When the war ended with a Patriot victory, most Loyalists fled or assimilated. The Harpes, however, continued their raids as if the conflict had never stopped. They moved into the wilderness with kidnapped women, forming a mobile, violent family unit that roamed the frontier as outlaws. Their post-war killings were no longer directed at military targets. They began murdering anyone they encountered, regardless of their political affiliation or status. They killed a young slave boy on his way to a mill and murdered a sleeping guest in a shared cabin simply because his snoring was too loud. Without a war to justify their actions, the cousins were revealed as indiscriminate predators who killed for the most trivial reasons. In 1799, the Harpes murdered a mother and her 4-month-old infant. This act prompted the victim's husband, Moses Stegall, to organize a posse of armed settlers to track the killers down. The posse captured Big Harpe after he was shot attempting to flee. As he lay dying, he confessed to 20 murders, but claimed he only regretted one, the death of his own infant daughter, whom he had killed because she wouldn't stop crying. Moses Stegall used a hunting knife to slowly decapitate Big Harpe while he was still conscious. The posse then mounted the head on a pole at a crossroads as a warning to other outlaws. The historical reality of this execution is still recorded today. This marker in Webster County, Kentucky, stands near the site where the head was displayed for years. This was a public act of brutality by a society trying to manage a type of criminal behavior that did not fit the standard definitions of robbery or frontier conflict. Wiley Harpe escaped the shootout and fled south. He spent years hiding along the Natchez Trace, an isolated trail through the wilderness known for harboring fugitives and outlaws. His run ended in 1804, when he tried to collect the bounty on another outlaw. He was recognized by authorities and hanged for his crimes shortly after. The Harpes are credited with at least 39 murders. In the late 18th century, a death toll of this magnitude, committed by 2 individuals without a clear military or financial motive, was outside the experience of the American legal system. The Harpe Brothers remain an anomaly in the history of the American frontier. They emerged from the chaos of the Revolution, not as simple bandits, but as a new kind of predator, shaped by a decade of unchecked guerrilla warfare and the collapse of wartime law.